to introduce the topic of spoken grammar, first I would like you to read these two dialogues and decide which one is taken from an English textbook and which one is taken from a real life conversation. So, as you probably guessed, the first dialogue is from an English textbook and the second dialogue was taken from a real life conversation. But can you say why? When we teach grammar at schools, we use descriptions of rules and patterns that are normally based on models from written English. The course books we normally use are also usually based on models from written English. That's the reason why when we take a look at the conversations and dialogues we can find in a course book, even though they are grammatically correct, they normally sound like unrealistic and we feel like they are very unlikely to occur in real life contexts. So why do conversations in course books sound so unrealistic sometimes? Since a few decades ago, researchers and linguists have begun to study the oral discourse using conversations from real-life contexts. These researchers have recorded hundreds of spontaneous conversations between native speakers, and they have found that the oral discourse do not always follow the traditional grammar rules. This means that the patterns that native speakers use when they have conversations are different from the grammatical patterns they use when they write in English. All these particular characteristics that were found in the spoken English are called spoken grammar. A very clear example of this is when we teach greetings to our students. What we normally learn from course books is the usual hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. But what happens when we go outside and talk to native speakers? We may find questions like, hey, how are you doing? What's up? You're right? And hear replies like good, doing well, not much. So there you can see that there is a difference between what we learn from course books and what we actually would use in real life situations. From the hundreds of conversations that have been recorded by researchers, there have been found some particular features that are related to spoken grammar. So now we're going to quickly review just a few of them for you to know them. Analysis from native speakers' conversations have revealed that they usually break the subject-verb-object sequence. They include noun phrases in different slots within their utterances. For example, you can see here, well, Sharon, where I'm living, a friend of mine, she got her rate card. My teacher is really nice, the one from America. Another feature of spoken grammar is that native speakers use the progressive form of the verbs in order to report a situation. You can see here the example. Tony was saying they should have the heating on by about Wednesday. So what we normally teach at school is that students should use the past tense when they report. So an example would be, it was said that. But actually native speakers use the continuous form of the verb when they are reporting within their conversations. Then we've got ellipses. Native speakers normally omit certain elements in their utterances and this is called ellipses. So here you have an example. Didn't know you used boiling water. Pardon? Didn't know you used boiling water. Don't have to, but it's they reckon it's so there you can see they totally omit the subject from their utterances because it's absolutely easy to infer from the situational context. Finally, we have the tags. Native speakers use tags very often to allow negotiation of meanings and to modify the message retrospectively. So here we have some examples. I'm gonna have an old-timer with cheese. I am. She's lovely, cheese. Frascat is nice. It's nice to drink, isn't it? So this cute little cat over here shows us some other features of spoken grammar that are found in native speakers' conversations. So we have interjections like the use of "oh" with other words like "oh no," "oh yeah," "oh right," "oh really," and the interjection "aha." All of them are used to express emotions. There are also discourse markers like "you know," "I mean," "anyway." Native speakers also use back channels to acknowledge what the speaker is saying. So you may say like, yeah, I see. And we also have fillers like, well, this is to fill time and gather your thoughts. Native speakers also use some longer ready-made utterances. Just to mention some of them, I would have thought, like I say, what can we do is, and so on. Each one, of course, has different functions within a conversation. Okay, so this meme is just to illustrate that sometimes native speakers use phrases or utterances that are actually not grammatically correct, but when they are used in conversational contexts, they are accepted and they are not questioned by the other speakers. So some examples of these are the use of me as a variant of my, the use of throwed instead of threw, the use of the base form of the verb give as a past tense, or as in the meme, multiple negations. To be aware of those elements that are characteristic of native speakers' conversation may bring some pedagogical implications. In Chile, we as English teachers are asked to use a communicative teaching approach, and students are expected to become competent users of the language when they finish their studies at schools. But how appropriate can be to teach speaking skills using grammatical patterns that are based on written English? Can we develop spoken communication in our classrooms without teaching important differences between spoken and written language? So to finish with this video, let me just give you a very short activity that you could include in your classes in order to raise your students' awareness regarding features of spoken grammar. This one is focused on fillers and back channels in conversations. So first, play a short video clip and ask students to count the number of fillers and back channels they hear in the clip using this table I'm going to show you now. So they watch the video and they check the fillers and back channels they hear. 2. Ask some questions for discussion, like what is the function of each filler and back channel within the context of the video? Do we use fillers and back channels when talking in Spanish? How would a conversation be without using these elements? Finally, you may select an artificial dialogue from your course book and ask students to include fillers and back channels. So this activity will prompt discussion on the most appropriate places to use fillers and back channels, their functions in conversation, and perhaps the artificiality of some ELT textbook dialogues. This is the end of the video. Thank you very much for your time. Here, please find some bibliography in case you feel interested in reading more about this topic. And also here you can find more activities that you could include in your classroom if your aim is to teach features of spoken grammar. Thank you.